Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So today is actually our third installment of a great way to start the new year. And today I wanted to talk about another portion of that, which is called right action. And, you know, the way that I live my life is I feel like that for me to have a good feeling about myself, I have to remember that every day I go home and I have to live with myself. And every day I wake up, I have to wake up with myself. And what I mean by that is that my actions throughout the day really do play into that. It doesn't matter what people think of me, how they look at me. It's how I feel about myself. That's what matters at the end of the day. And we have so many things that attack that. We have body image things that are shoved in our face constantly about how you should look, and it really affects people. It really affects your sense of self. So the first action really is to screw them. Who cares what they think? If you're happy with yourself, that's what matters most. Because if you don't start there with yourself, you're going to be no good to anybody else because you're just going to run around going to the whims of what everybody else thinks. And at the end of the day, that's miserable. It really is, because you're just pleasing everybody else, but you're not really focusing on what matters to you, what makes you feel good inside. And I don't mean, external feelings. I'm talking about how do I feel good on the inside? It's not about what I can drink or what I can take or any of that stuff, what I can buy, who I think I need to be with. How do I feel about myself? That's what's so very important, and it's so much of what we miss because today's society is basically online. Everything's online. Dating, apps, influencers telling us the best products to buy, so much fake stuff out there about losing weight and how to do it. And we used to have a term when I was littler, and even more whenever my parents were children, and they used to call them snake oil salesmen. And what that was is it was just saying somebody who is trying to sell you something because they don't really care about you. They care about the money that they are going to make. You're a product. See, one of the things that's happened in life is we've, as humans, have become products. Everybody is looking at us for what they can get from us. So all this influence from the outside is really for somebody else's gain, not yours. And it's a terrible truth to realize, but even more so, I've realized it just in the last few months, really. It's really, how social media tends to focus on something. Like, I'm above 50 and I'm in good working order, but I've never seen so many hair loss, ED meds, how to get your energy, all this stuff. It's products and among products. And, I over this last weekend, we had dinner with a friend of mine, and she works in cosmetology. And so I was just asking her, I see all of this stuff about hair growth, and I'm a bald man. I started losing my hair probably in my 20s. Started thinning out to the point where I now just completely shaved my head. And I asked her, I said, is there any truth to this, all these pills and oils and shampoos to put on your hair? And she said, ultimately, when you start losing your hair, you can do some things like stimulate the follicle And you can, massage your scalp and all that kind of stuff. And those things work to a degree, but there is no magic anything to regrow hair. When you start losing your hair, you lose your hair. There's no way to get the follicle back. The only thing that you can do is you could do hair transplants and hair plugs and all that kind of stuff. And, that just, it really dashed my faith in what I see on, the ads. It just was a real, maybe I always knew it, but that was just like a real smack to the face that literally my situation with my hair can't be changed. It just is what it is. But there's all these people that capitalize on that. And it got me to really thinking about right actions. One, that's shame on them for being so deceptive just for money. But the other thing is I need to remember to be okay with myself. I need to have the right action of being okay with who I am. Because, as long as I do the things that make me feel good about myself, and I'm not talking physical, I'm talking this mental alignment that you have to get into. One of the things that I see in the Bible, it boils down to having a good action is to start focusing on things that are more righteous. And if we can do that, then we feel good on the inside before we ever even get to our bodies. We feel good on the inside. In Galatians 5:22-23, it says, the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. All these lead to right actions, because if you're controlled, and what I mean by that is you've got somebody who walks in the room, is strutting around, talking big, talking about the things they have or the things they can do or the people they know. All that's a facade. And the thing is that it makes you want to be like that because that's appealing. Oh, they know so-and-so. They must be cool. But what, as we learn, it's not who you know that makes you feel good about yourself. It's you. So if you can have love, patience, peace, and kindness, come on. Peace right there. That's a big one. We miss a lot of that. And we get to peace by self-control because people are always trying to take our peace. So if somebody comes in and they're trying to goat you into doing something, hey, take a beat, take a breath, and take a pause. Get a hold of yourself first. And then choose what you want. The silent person in the room commands the most respect, not the one who talks the loudest. Whenever you have a composed response to things and you don't act out of anger or envy or jealousy, well, guess what? You're going to sound more direct, and people want that. At the end of the day, that's what they want. We want to act justly as well. It says that in Malachi 6:8 that God desires that we act justly, we love mercy, and we walk humbly. The people that are always trying to step on other people to get what they want, they do not command any kind of respect. People look at them as an unjust person or a selfish person. What we need to get, we will get. What God desires for us is to be happy. Not that He is a piggy bank, and not that He just doles out things that you want. No. God looks at the basics, as we should too. Do we have enough to eat? Do we have clothes to wear? Do we have a roof over our head? My mom used to always say, if you're not happy with what you have, God will not give you more. So the first things that we need to do is always be happy with what you have. It's not wrong to want more for yourself. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that you first must respect with what you have. Because if you respect what you have, then you'll take care of it. And if you take care of it, you can build on it. Just like the foundation of your house. If you don't take care of it, the house will crumble. That's a simple logic. So we need to be careful how we conduct ourselves in getting the things that we want. Be righteous. It'll come to you. It may not be in your time. It'll be in God's time. And God's time is perfect. So that's the one thing that we got to remember. Everything is always about doing this, and you got to do this in this time frame, and you got to do it here in this way, and you got to know this person, and you got to do these things. But you're pleasing everybody else. You need to do what's right by you. Look at all these celebrities and all these things that are coming out about things that they lowered themselves to do to get somewhere else. They thought it would make them better. And in the end, it chipped away at their humanity, or it chipped away at their sense of self. Put yourself first. Have your integrity first in getting things. All right. The things that we also got to watch is we got to have that right mind. In Romans 12:2, it says, transformation comes from renewing your mind so that you can discern and do what is right. All right. We've already talked about renewing your mind, but it's important to have a fresh mind because you look at things as they are, not through desire. If we look at things through desire, then we're going to take shortcuts, and we don't want to take shortcuts. We also have to have self-control. Proverbs 25:28 says, a person without self-control is like acting like a city with broken walls, vulnerable and unprotected. Think about that for a second. You got to guard your heart. You got to guard your sense of self. Don't just give it away. That's why I always tell people, if you want to enter into marriage, don't start having sex before marriage. Don't just go sleeping around. You have to treat yourself like something that's precious. And if you just give something away constantly, it's no longer precious. We forget about that. The secrets are treating yourself well and thinking of yourself as something that's precious, not just doing whatever you can to get something. We see it so much. Just look at the girl that was married to Diddy. The thing about it was, look at her, until she took herself back, she was doing things that she didn't agree with just to keep some jerk free, keep him happy and to get a recording contract. That's how it all started, was that he was going to make her big and famous. This fame shouldn't come first. If you come first, the fame will come if you've got the talent, but there's no shortcut to getting there. That's wanting the world more than your own self. We also got to remember that God disciplines to show his love, to protect us. In Proverbs 3:11-12, it says, my son, do not despise the Lord's discipline, because the Lord disciplines those he loves, as a father the son he delights in. It reminds us that discipline helps us get to our goals. You can't get there without discipline. And I think that that's the underlying theme here, is that right action is to have discipline about yourself. If you're just doing whatever to get wherever and there's no purpose, it's just constantly chasing approval, money, sex, drugs. In the end, those are things that are of the world, and they are also things that destroy you if you are chasing them. Let's just take something like sex. It has its place, but it's not to form an addiction to. It's because it is something that is joyful that the Lord has given us. But like anything, if you abuse it and you just give it away, then it takes away from how special it actually is. That intimacy, that bond building time between, a man and a woman, and that bonding time, that time that makes them have this great intimacy that is going to enrich their relationship. The Bible says that sex is a gift. We have to treat it like that. We have to treat our bodies like a gift as well. Hand in hand with treating something as intimate as that between a couple, the other thing to treat very, very preciously is your body. You get one on this planet. So if you just abuse it by not taking care of it, it's like anything that you don't take care of. It gets to be rickety and broken and painful. We have to maintain ourselves. That doesn't mean that you have to search for a body type or try to look good at the beach. That's not what I'm saying. You have to maintain it by putting good things in it. Everything else will fall into place of how it's meant to be. We're all made differently. Some of us are bigger. Some of us are smaller. But we put these prizes on body types, but we forget that is outside aesthetics. What about the inside? I mean, attraction is important, yes, but mental attraction is also very important. I would almost say it's more important. You see this between men who marry their wives, and guess what? Everybody goes downhill. Men, you're going to get ugly. You're going to get wrinkly. You're going to get probably a little flabby. That's the nature of life. Same with women. What fades away is the looks, but the mental stuff stays with you. I've been married to my wife almost 30 years, and we've been together 32 years. We both have seen declines in our bodies, but we built something that is intimate, mentally and spiritually. And that stands the test of time. Everything else is just a plus. You got to remember to love each other inside and out. That's what the vows are for, that we treat so recklessly now as, from death to us part, in sickness and health, for richer or poorer. These are important. We don't take them very seriously now, and everybody is miserable for the lack of it. If something doesn't go their way, they don't see the deeper treasure that's there. So have those right actions. They all start with self. And if you can discipline yourself, then you are going to find that there are great rewards that are out there that I can't even think of. I don't know them all. I can only tell you a few. So, as you step into this year, let's put our actions into practice. Let's find the discipline that is necessary to live a more godly, more spiritual, and more healthy life. Talk to you next time.